stood at the Radha and swore that if the tanks rolled in, they would roll over us. The night before this incident took place, before the entry of the Lhasa, Santa Singh called a meeting. Toda went, Banala went, but Balu didn't go. He went off to his village, wherever he went to, either Maharaja or somewhere, UP or somewhere. And he knew this was happening because the message which had been sent was out of our control. We have to take action. You take. Now, when the others joined, and I don't missed anything, but I am telling you the facts which were there. They've done the same thing at the Congress. What are you going to do? And then followed by that, I was the Banala government. And Banala government does the same thing too. I had to resign from the Banala government also in '86. But this was, everyone was now guilty of the same. Then you have to pick perhaps one who you think you could fit in with into a newer, to make a newer Punjab. And that is why I rejoined it after 14 years. I think I did the right thing because Kalila is very insular. You are not in a family grid. Your vision doesn't cross the Kapil. They are the side only of the Kapil. And Punjab has to grow. You've got to grow out of this concept. And I think it was the right thing. And I think hopefully if we get a chance this time, we will set right what those shelves have done wrong in the last 10 years.
Khushwant Singh, it took you 5 years to write this book. You are very passionate about it. You connected so many dots. In the meantime, Captain Amarinder has written 3 books. he wrote, there's some wrong with and he wrote about the World War, 100 years of war. And then he wrote about, the Anglo-Sikh War, the last sunset, and Marshall died and all that. How come that you were more prolific than your biography?
I'm free. I'm out of a job. So I'm too right. But I enjoyed it. Actually, I used to, Mr. Gandhi asked me a serious question. She said, when I went to give her this war, monsoon war, she said, Amarinder, how do you find time to write it? So I told her, ma'am, I said, every time you give me the sack, I write a book. And that's what I did. It was interesting in the sense that, of course, they're all military. See, when you say Lahore Darbar, the first chapter was only on the coming of the Lahore Darbar. Then it was the Anglo-Sikh Wars, and that was which eventually ended in 1849 with the demise of the Lahore Darbar totally. But I want you to see to actually go through the battles, and I've done them in great detail. But it's basically a military history book, and a little bit of the rise of Ranjit Singh and the period of that time, those lines. The other one, of course, was very interesting because it was the 100th year of the First World War. And both the General and I went to Belgium and France, and we followed our regimental moves right across the trench to trench. We walked through to see where everything that took place, whichever battle was fought, we were taken also when my second Sikh was. And we could still see marks. You can't see the trenches, but you can see depressions in the ground, or shells had fallen in that area and filled up. So that was very interesting to see. And I've written that book again. It was India's contribution to the war. And that was a great contribution people didn't know. I mean, we've got an Indian army today of 1.3 million, and there were over 1.3 million people of our soldiers who were there to fight in 6 different task forces from East Africa right up to Belgium, and then Mesopotamia and the Central Middle East. That was the second one. And the third, of course, was this, where both the general and I had served. He served more directly. He was the troop leader of Technos. And in the Battle of Cape, he was taken prisoner actually in Pakistan's guest for 6 months. I was with the army commander, so I saw it at a different level. He saw it at the defense level, and I saw it at the upper level with the army commander. We put our heads together, and I think we produced perhaps the best book that there is on 65. I say so myself. But the reason is because when your opponents recognize it as an objective analysis, which I was told, Pakistan television did on the last anniversary, and one of the people there was Ayub San, and Ayub San has said that I have read this book from cover to cover, and there could be no greater objective assessment of the 65 war than this. And his father was commanding, and he was president, and he himself was a young officer. So I think that really gives us a great pat on the back that it was something that has come out well. And it's been appreciated by the Indian services as well. And I think the Army commander here, I wasn't present, but said that if you want to read about the 65 war, read this book. So they was present there. So we all have to say things the way we think, right? A lot of people try to cover up. And I don't think it's a business of covering. If I'm a rotter, then it's right for Khushwant to say I'm a rotter. That's the way it is. And that same thing in the forces, if somebody has done something wrong, I think it should be spoken of. Don't forget that the decision taken as an officer, may or may die, is not a good decision. So if he has taken it and a lot of people die, then his name should be mentioned. And if I, as Chief Minister, have done something wrong, then it's every right that Khushwant should mention it in the book. And I don't know if he mentioned it better, but
Did you ever feel like you had the pressure to complete the book? Because people are so proud of you telling out the books.
I mean, he called me sometime in October, I remember, and this is October actually, this October, and he says, I've got this book on the Saragadi battle, like there's a lot of fiction floating around, I want to settle that fiction. And so he was trying to put it together with a publisher, a book, and I said, I mean, are you serious? You want to attempt this? He says, no, elections will not kind of meet up before December, I think by that time I'll have this submission. And I was shocked. I was embarrassed now. He's kind of almost ready with another book, and I was studying it. But these 5 years were very important. I think I needed these 5 years. Now, if I think about it, I think I completed this book in 2 years. I think I missed out on so much. It was because I was talking about this book everywhere, because I was reading a lot of material, I was meeting many people. And if I look at this last 3 years, there's so much more information that is coming for the book than the first 2 years. So I think it was very important that for me that I mean, maybe the next book I write, I can.
So let me talk about your tenure as Chief Minister, that is 2002 to 2007. The book has a complete chapter on tenure. We all know that this termination of water agreement and your anti-corruption campaign were the two high water marks of your chief ministership. The book says, and quite convincingly, that actually you resurrected the Badals. You gave them a new lease of life. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. Yes, that's what people are saying. That arresting the Badals gave them a new lease of life. But let me tell you, I didn't arrest them. It was the courts who arrested them. What happened that day was that when we put the case in the court, and that day the lawyer didn't turn up, Mr. Matiwal. And he didn't turn up, and the judge shoved him into jail. And I think they spent very long there. I kept getting messages from them. And after about 10 days, so I said, Ramina, what did I do? And they would say, Awa chal gayi, main chika laga de. And then I had Sugi Badal saying, I want Aiko, I have betiyan bhej de. So that was what was going on. And I think he spent about 10 days or so. Whatever it is, as it's feeling that I just sent the police to pick him up and take him to jail. That was not the case. It was the lawyer's fault for not showing up. And I told the judge had to do his duty. That was as far as arresting him. And then the case is proceeded, but there's a thin dividing line. If somebody is into corruption and you don't take action, then you're not doing your duty. If you take action, then people say, why are you arresting so-and-so? Then very true. There has to be some sort of decision somewhere that this cannot happen. And I think it has indicated in the last few months the way the Chutalas and the way the other people have been dealt by the Supreme Court. I think this has to happen. If you want to, if you have a fear of corruption, then you got to have an example. And I can tell you, if you lock up people like Chutalas or somebody of that seniority, then the message goes to the bottom. Catching hold of a Patari and a Sina is no hassle, but it doesn't mean materialism. So that I think was the objective I took over, that we have to go into these issues that are now racking the people. And that is the corruption of the barbers. We made hotels in Australia and something else somewhere on. And we registered a case and we proceeded on that matter. But we did not arrest him. That's not my job to do. Like today people ask him, suppose you form government tomorrow, will you take out the barbers and throw them into jail? I said, how can we do that? There is a law in this land, there is a constitution which we have. You have to go according to the law. Yes, if we find something which is wrong, then we will certainly look into it. But I can't just, like Mr. Kejriwal says, I will that day go the very day pick up Mr. Balan and put him behind bars. Then there has to be some sort of a law in this country. Otherwise, if you don't have law, then there's nothing left.
Among your candid conversation with Khushwant, and he worked quite extensively on that, you said that some of the missteps of your kind of government were due to your experience, yeah.
Possible, yes, possible. I'll tell you why. It's not that easy. When I took over in 2002, I had been a minister only in Mr. Pradhan's cabinet for 6 months. Then Black Card came and I quit. So really, as a minister, you don't get much experience, and certainly not as a 6-month old minister. When I came in 2002, it took you at least a year before you get to understand the system, the various departments, their contributions, their roles, governance. And so we missed out, and that manifested itself in the election, parliamentary election 2 years later. Because we only won 2 seats, 11 seats we lost, because there was no governance. And another reason was money. There was no money. And my finance secretary told me very categorically, he said, sir, we have no money. If you can give me 2 years, I'll give you whatever money you want for the development of Punjab, but we have to settle things first. And not realizing that parliamentary election of 2 years hence, I said, okay. So for 2 years, we did no development. And that, as I said, was shown up in the next parliamentary election. After that, there was no going. By that time, you had got the general situation. And then money was available. And we started, when we left the state, we had 4,000 crore surplus in the kitty which I handed over to Bhagat. Now we have 2 lakh crore down in the drain. So when we take over today, God knows what's going to happen if we take over today in the coming days. There's no money. We've got a deficit budget of 4,000 crores, plus a state debt of, as I said, 2 lakh crores. And they want 31 more crores to be put converted from a term loan which they had taken for crop payment into loans again and added to the further debt of Punjab. We are going absolutely out of control. And to meet their salaries and wages, they are selling government properties, selling government houses, they are putting all our houses on rent. Your hospitals are have been put on, what should I call it, mortgage. You mortgage your hospitals, your schools, your institutions, your government buildings, all are mortgaged. Colonies are being, like our Punjab colony has been demolished and sold as plots. How long is that going to last?
So one of the striking feature of your political career has been resignations. You resigned in 1984, then you resigned from the Banana government in 1986, then you resigned as member of parliament officer last year. You even made MLAs, all Congress MLAs resigned from the assembly. And I am told that you had resigned from the army too, only to go back. What is the rationale behind so many resignations?
Well, I didn't know the war was going to start. We knew things were hotting up, but when the war didn't start, I took my duty. It was duty around me. I didn't know nothing why it's not centered around me. It's what any officer would have done who has served, who has been trained for 4 years, who is a young officer. He would like Maharaja was here, he was the squadron commander in Oxenos. He got his leg shot off in the war. So these things happen in the war, but it was not that I was making something big out of it. I just wanted to go back to my regiment. And I did not believe there must have been hundreds of others who opted to do the same thing. And that resignation was, as I said earlier, because everyone was, my brother was in the army, and my mother was out, and my father was out, so somebody had to go do this. That was one. And the second, of course, is the other resignations, I think, were decisions which I didn't agree with. I think if you don't agree with something, then you have no business to be there. I didn't agree with Blue Star, so I resigned. Then I didn't agree with Black Thunder, so I resigned. That was the same thing you do. And you know, when I hear I'm number 3 in the cabinet of Mr. Maharaja, and how I hear that these things, the Black Thunder is taking place, I am in Patiala. My tailor has come to try my clothes on, and can the body line कर लिया मैं कहते can the दरबार साहब की body line है what are you talking about? He said okay कोई पता नहीं लग रहा कि है टैंक चले गए पुराना चले गए. So then I rang up and managed to get the police control room here, and I asked them can I have कुछ हो गया. Now here I am now in the cabinet. I do not know that a such a major decision has been taken to enter the Golden Temple, the Vasa, which has already cost us so much some years before. And here am I sitting again, and nobody bothers to ask me whether we should do it or not. And I said, in which case, if that is the confidence of the business as me, I want to do it here. And I should come back.
I want to add on to this what I am trying to make out of it. So Captain Amarinder has used resignation and the power of the pen actually to put this point across. That's what, on every important matter, if you, right from the 70s, if you look onward, he has had a opinion, whether through an editorial, whether a statement, but there are so many editorials. The final one is in 88 or 89, which he interviewed, which the editorial you wrote against the community.
There were 2 pages, 2 center pages.
So that has been a hallmark here, that he has used this tool very effectively, the pen and the resignation, which is again, no one uses in India.
No, that one which I wrote then was on conflict rate. It was killing people daily. I remember I went to Bageda, one of my villages just outside Patiala, and that day in the morning, in the winter of the day, Bhartiyas was sitting soaking sun, when somebody came and just shot each other's head. And this was happening every day. And therefore I asked Mr. Ryan who was in because of the too. We had a committee of about 7-8 of us used to meet regularly. Mr. Rajesh Institute, Vijay Gowda, then there was Mr. Rani, CPI, myself, and like that we were 7-8 of us. And we speak once a month. And I told them, I said, now time has come that you guys should be really taken care of. And I remember my brother saying, what have you done? Because he was saying that how they do, I said, look, how improvement. But this is the sort of thing that, so I wrote that page, it was the 2 pages full. And then you went to some time in India, all the Punjabi newspapers, everybody picked it up. And I had a scrap with the public committee on this issue. What was the public committee? It was just some professors from Punjab University who were acting as a big somebody or the other and writing these stories every day, threatening people and all this sort of thing. And playing into the hands of those militants who were out killing people. Okay, Punjab has lost 35,000 people dead. And 35,000 people, what do you create here in public life? And we don't know anything about it, then we don't really have a register period. And others don't want to do it. I remember Maharaja asking me, he said, he was hitting. I came to the China and they were not so. Okay, they were like, that is what is answer to the and he is always saying, and got half of 35,000 people. I remember he used to go for PhD in Delhi, in Jalandhar, to take this salute every year at the Martyrs Memorial. 1700-1800 of Bhishma and how many Hindus why I don't believe the Supreme Court judgment got it. They are putting the cart before the horse. Today, your water level is, look, all our distribution of Punjab assets was 60-40. Water, Ravi Vyas surplus was 60-40. But you conveniently forgot that combined Punjab also had Jamna water from the river networks. So today you have 40% land in Haryana with 12 million acre feet of water. And Congress and Punjab has 60% of the land with 8 million acre feet of water. You say what more from us? You are not giving us the water from Haryana because you are saying you are not liability to it. Then where do you have to these rivers? This is absolutely foolishness on behalf. I don't know how the Supreme Court should have first seen where is the water and put the water issue first. Is there water or not? In 1955, when Neptune was there, the total water availability in these three rivers was 15 million acre feet. Today, 13 million acre feet, you're going downhill. And you're going by what the Ravi Commission says, and what the Ravi Commission of political decision, not actual fact. Today, the Supreme Court should have first seen what is the water, the quantum of water, and then take a decision. You can't build a canal first and then find out how much water you have to put in it. I think this is totally wrong, and certainly we will, as a government, go back to the court on this issue.
We have been fighting very long, legal battle over water issue. We have exhausted, all options. Like you kind of asked the admission assembly, went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court has now turned the law on that. Is it time to talk right now, going or try out?
I don't think we can accept this government at all. How we can tackle it, of course, our legal brains will have to come up with a solution. But let me tell you, what was the cause for the rise of terrorism? It was, if you look at the history of Punjab, right after independence, where was Southern Punjab? Southern Punjab and the Mujahideen movement. Because they were very small only, very poor people. Then in the 60s, the Nassar movement started there. From there, you went to the Khalistani movement. And now this is where the AAP is gaining down there, in that whole belt. Now, if you take that 10 lakh acres of land will go dry, which is canal will built, and about 6 lakh families will have food. In that belt, which has already had a history of terror, do you think the people are going to sit by and just allow this to happen? They will draw their weapons. If a person can't feed the child, what is he going to do? If you're not going to, you can't use subsoil water because that is all brackish water in that belt. Even drinking water comes from the canal systems. And that's why the land will dilute that area of 10 lakh acres of there will be no water, neither for drinking nor crops. Now, do you think those people will sit by? Therefore, I am saying this whole business of the Supreme Court deciding on this, and the government not challenging it. I don't understand why not. For 10 years, what is now people being doing? Why is today this issue? That we will first go into the issue of the water quantum, then decide whether it can actually be 50 feet wide and 10 feet deep, or 10 feet wide and 2 feet deep. When you know how much water you have.
I think it's a home taking more than
The judges can only decide on what to tell them, or what information given by the councils. The question is, why did our council take this issue up? It should have been the government of Punjab, and should have been what you hiring all these high-paid judges, lawyers in Delhi. I won't name the judges, but even when we started this case off, we were paying up to 50 lakhs a day for a judge. I mean, that's what of things were going on. Sorry, I'm begging your pardon. I think for a lawyer. 50 lakhs a day to do this sort of this is ridiculous. And then you can't raise it the way that it should be raised.
So let me change the topic. Let me talk about your relationship with the family. There have been many ups and downs, in terms of your relationship with the family. Hope, talk very kind of in detail about, your bittersweet relation. We also there's written that, how you had very emotional conversation with Mrs. even after operation to start in the parliament. Then you had a very testy conversation with, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi in the aftermath of this termination of water agreement. Incidentally, that you had proxy relationship with Rahul.
And not with Mrs. Gandhi to that extent. It's only when I sent my resignation, it was number 9, it was in Capital Amarinder. What was number 9? Number 1. Satyagram Road. And in those days there was no security. Maybe now chap here or there. So I just pushed the gate open and I went in and there was a little room where Mrs. Raman used to sit and then a little waiting room and then was that Krishna house and in that little room she used to be us. And she said, you resigned? I said, no, I told you only 4 days ago. And if you do this, I will resign. She said, well, what would I do? I said, of course you are Prime Minister, you have to take that decision. I have nothing to say on that because I told you what I had to say. But my issue stands. I told you I will resign and I will resign because I have my heritage and look at my own family, my history, everything, my own community, everything is tied into this. So she didn't like it, but anyway, that was over. Mrs. Gandhi was different. This is the water issue. It started like this, that the Secretary of Irrigation came to me, Mr. Lakasal was the Secretary of Irrigation. And he tells me, he said, I said, what do we do? Because orders had come from Delhi that to hand over to the CTWB and by the Wednesday or something like that. He said, sir, there's one way of doing it. I said, what? He said, we'll have to go to Delhi and take further legal opinion. But if it was true, we will get sacked. I said, I don't know about my sack, we have to stop this. Because I saw Punjab going into that sort of state again. So we went to Delhi, and it was to pass a retrospective act. And we went to see the lawyers there. We took their opinions, and it was Mr. Nariman was the one who drafted out whatever we had. And we brought it to the house. I didn't want to carry this long because it was a long time. So it was the morning, I don't know what, maybe, I think I had told the speaker that something urgent we want to skip question. And I stayed at 11 o'clock, we took this issue up. And I told them that this is it, and this is what we have, and here is the bill. I sent it to Badal just 1 hour before, after our cabinet had passed. And knowing that in 1 hour you won't want to read anything in any case. So I said, so I and then at 12 o'clock sharp, I introduced the bill. And by 2 o'clock, the House was, unanimously approved it. And we sent it to the governor. Now the poor old governor thought that the Congress government moving, they must be with the connivance of the Congress party. So he got a sack also for this. And by 5 o'clock it was law. And then Mr. Gandhi was seen 6 months he didn't see as a chief minister. Then friends told her that, either sack him or senior chief minister. How did not senior chief minister for 6 months? So she called me. And she was sitting across the table, so I went in and I said, good evening, ma'am. She said, good evening. So she says, why did you do this? I said, because it was necessary for Punjab. And she said, why did you ask me? I said, because had I asked you, would you have said yes? She said, no. So I said, I will ask you. And I did, because it was in the interest of our state. And I said, Punjab has been through a terrible time. You have lost your husband. You have lost your mother-in-law to terrorism. And I don't want you to lose your children also to this. And the decision that was going to be taken would have put Punjab back to square one. And we will again have terrorism rise. So this is the critical thing, and I explained earlier. If this issue, which is now the Supreme Court order passed, is implemented upon, I guarantee you Punjab will go back to square one. Already these guys are sitting, these guys are inactive mode, they will rise. You will have the ISI children one, and they will be back, we will be back to square one.
You have written a fascinating chapter on Captain Saab in Pakistan is kind of meeting with President Musharraf. One of the anecdotes, I would like you to narrate that is that when General Musharraf sent his book on Kargil to Captain Saab, and he had also written a book on Kargil. What was that?
So let me give the background here. It's about this meeting. I had requested someone in Pakistan to send me this to ask General Musharraf if he can send a quote of the meeting with what Captain Amarinder and Musharraf had when he was the chief minister and he was the president. So today's General Musharraf sent me this very complimentary note on what he thought about Captain Amarinder Singh, someone who felt about his people. And here I was writing in a chapter where today's Musharraf has sent his book to Captain Amarinder for reviewing it, and he sends it back with a note saying, he sends it with his book and a note saying, your book is bull, read mine.
No, it was like this. It happened that he sent me a very nice write-up, and he said, tell me what you think of it. So I wrote, after reading it, I said, your book is all good. Here I am sending you one, you read it.
And I kept clarifying with him, did you like it's all bull? He said, yes, that's what I wrote. So it's in the book I've written, it's all bull.
So we kind of tagged off our conversation. What if you were to sum up the protagonist of your book in one line, what would that be?
3 chairs.
And what would be your line?
I think Khushwant had gone into this in very detail, of course, but in a very, very comprehensive manner. He has gone into each issue, and it's not only me. He probably what I said. He have checked with my sister, he have checked with Nikki, he have checked with Jen Shetty, who had given staff together from the age of 8. So all these things, he must have done double check, because these are sort of personal reminiscences which is difficult to record and keep them in space. So it's only people who remember those days and the period and how one functioned that could comment on. And that's how he started when he started today's evening, saying what I had said about Mickey's mother, who was like our mother to us, and how it was. But it must have been, because I must have said it, and I'm sure they are all listening to my answer. So it happens, we used to do it.
So this conversation can't be complete without talking about March 11th. That one day we all are really looking forward to. What is the moment that you got?
I think so. I think, I think people want stability. People want governance. And today, what has happened in 10 years has totally destroyed the system. It is a family which completely went insane. ARC does not have that, let's say, experience. They have none. Not one person of that has been in government before. Nobody has experience at all, other than Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Motion come here. And you can't run a government in that sort of way. Therefore, I think when the people had to finally make up their mind, and I think this is in the last 48 hours, there was a swing towards stable government. And I therefore think that, as we have talked many times, we talked to my colleagues here, Maharaja is here, Vicky here, and all of the various places, that these are, I think we will be, if I can, I'm not political, but what I can from my political experience think, that we should be somewhere in the range of plus minus 65, that sort of thing. And I think they would think it would be about 40 so, plus minus 40. And I think the biggest loser is going to be Republicans. Now that, for me, I could never have thought that a party which has been in existence since 1920 would just disintegrate. But obviously, see now, Punjab democracy and the voter of Punjab has come very clear. And they have seen this. Why do I think I'm more than lovely? I didn't know what lovely was. I mean, I just said, hey, looking for somebody else, and I was practice. We never played the thing. Because you knew that there was such a lot of anger and built-in steam against these people, and to go it up one day. And Prakash Singh Badal has been there for donkey's years, and that's his home. And here's an outsider coming in. And I only went to file my papers, and then went for one last meeting when Rahul Gandhi came there. And it's an economic situation. He may be up 500, I may be up 500, that's the whole situation. But why am I up there? Because people are opposed to the way these fellows are functioning, through their helpline charges. I mean, a DSP or to have to report to those fellows. If somebody died and you needed to be a complete revamping of the party. So therefore I think they're going to suffer this time. But if they get only these 6 or 8 or 9 votes, the seats that people are talking about, it's an unfortunate thing. But as somebody was reminding me today, once BJP only got 2 seats. So, the national level. So, these things happen. And you can't take the voter for granted. Therefore, this time I think the voter wants peace, stability, and governance. Jobs, youngsters want jobs, industry must come in, agriculture must be worked on. So these are the things that we promised, and I think that is probably it for me.
Well, March 11 is also birthday of Captain Saab, and we hope that he can have a cake and eat it too.
It's not only that, it's March 11th is my birthday, it's also my election day, and it is also the first time in 15 generations that somebody crosses 70.